to yet another edition of the Full Force News Burst, brought to you by GeneralsJoes Reborn.com, with me as your host, Chris Spinning Turd Kick McLeod, aka Diagnostic 80. Joining me today to talk about some interesting intel about the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes movie is Justin Hundred Gland Slap Bell. So without further ado, let's get stuck into this news burst. Breaking news for a change. The Full Force has received some rather interesting intel regarding the upcoming G.I. Joe Snake Eyes movie from an anonymous source. An actor who auditioned for the film informed us that the studio were also casting extras for the Yakuza and a sumo wrestler. I'm just going to go ahead and say it, it's E Honda and this will be a Street Fighter crossover. I'm kidding, of course. So, Justin, what do you make of this? I mean, we spoke recently about the motorcycle stunt performers. That was like quite recently.
Yeah.
Do you think the Yakuza are tied to this?
It certainly seems that way. I've seen, my share of movies with Yakuza in them, and it always seems like they're
always on
riding
motorbikes.
motorcycles with leather jackets and stuff and carrying swords around. And so it seems to kind of fit right in with that idea.
It's so interesting. I mean, the intel, I'm not going to give away the source for obvious reasons, but it is strong intel, and it does come from an actor who has auditioned for the Snake Eyes movie, which is really, really cool. So these are the two elements that came out of it. Obviously, the Yakuza one we just mentioned. The other interesting element is a sumo wrestler is being talked about. Now, there was talk when we were going through the fantasy casting, and before that when we discussed a script that was out there of Snake Eyes being a Street Fighter kind of situation in Peru, and that's where Storm Shadow kind of finds him, kind of in some sort of dad revenge death type scenario. I'm just trying to think of some kind of ways this might work. Do you think he might be fighting a sumo wrestler in that kind of street fight situation?
I mean, it's possible. It could also just be sort of a background thing where, if it does take place or if elements of it take place in Japan, and they just kind of want to have some flavor going on in the background somewhere. But
some tasty giant nappy flavor.
Exactly, yeah. Some sweaty fat guy in a diaper flavor.
I should have gone in for that. I so should have gone in for that. I'm already wearing the diaper as well. It's like
it's right in our wheelhouse.
No brainer. Oh no, hell, we'd have been perfect as I'd be the fat Yakuza and you'd be the thin Yakuza.
I'd be willing to be a method actor. I would get all fat again if it meant having a role in a G.I. Joe movie. I
have actually seen images of you as a bigger man, and my goodness, you look like a completely different person now.
Yeah, I was a little bit bigger back in the day.
I think, did you post like a wedding picture a while back and kind of showed like almost like a before and after kind of thing? It was amazing.
Yeah, when I was married in 2000, I was a little over 300 pounds. So
that is incredible, because like having known you for the most part, knowing you for you've been very lean, very fit, always running, always doing stuff like that. So to think that was the case is crazy, mind-boggling. In any case, we've gone on a slight tangent with this, but I was also thinking, sumo wrestler, street fighting, E Honda Street Fighter 2. Do you think it's the biggest crossover of the millennium?
You just broke the news. The Hasbro Cinematic Universe featuring Street Fighter.
We've already done the podcast for it as well, so we don't have to worry about doing that extra element.
I just want to know who's going to be Blanca.
Oh, that's clearly going to be Eddie. Eddie Inman is going to he's going to come back out of retirement, dress up as Blanca. All we'd have to do is paint him green and dye his hair orange, and he's got the chest hair, everything. It'd be perfect. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, are you excited for these kind of little elements here that they're kind of bringing in? Do you think it's just going to be an overall flavor element, or do you think there's going to be specific storyline elements attached to these characters?
I'm betting the Yakuza will be involved in some way. I mean, it seems almost natural to have something like the Arashikage clan, if they're kind of carrying it forward. What other sort of criminal syndicate would they be associated with? Because it kind of makes sense. And like I said, I've seen a bunch of different Yakuza-oriented movies, and for some reason I really kind of enjoy that, history, just thinking kind of where they started, how they came to be, and sort of how they're viewed in media, and how that is kind of different from their actual reality and stuff. So the Yakuza is a pretty cool, interesting sort of element of any media in my mind, and it could be a really cool way to get Snake Eyes involved in the real world, so to speak. So I think it's cool.
I mean, you're right there. It's clear that they're kind of driving us in, no pun intended, or riding us in to a certain like way of like them coming out of the Arashikage Mountain type situation and going into Japan and all like I mean, obviously filming in Vancouver as well, and filming in Japan, and filming in I think LA. Was the other place, wasn't it? Somewhere like that.
Yeah, it
was in California anyway. But yeah, I mean, because they're doing that does tend to make you think, well, this is not going to be just a film around one location. They're going to move this about a bit. Yeah, totally. In any case, Justin, thank you for jumping on to quickly chat this intel that we've had, this cheeky underground intelligence that's come our way.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure.
That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Thank you to my awesome co-host Justin Bell. See you next time, and as always, full Yakuza or full Sumo. I don't know which one to go with. We'll go with
yeah,
let's go full.
Sumo's good.
Can you go full Sumo? What does that even mean? It's like a sex move.
Yeah. You could get down in a crouch and slap your thighs.
And have the hands, just 100 hands slap. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @The Full Force, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/The Full Force, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback or questions. We have also started a Patreon page, so if you want to see your name up in lights on these videos or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.